Flames Nation, what's going on, Flames Nation citizens? We are back here in Martaloop in the Oodle Noodle studio. Myself, Michela Sheedy, and Princey.
What's up? I'm here. I'm back. Actually, I haven't left.
You haven't
This
left,
is where
actually. You live in the corner over there. You don't even
Yeah.
get a cot.
I know. I pretty much live in this place, man. Like I'm here all day, and we've got a nice guest here. I'll let you introduce, but this is my home. We've had people come in here and be like, "Oh, this is nicer than my apartment." So yeah,
It's not too shabby, but we are so excited to be here this week with. I don't know. Do I introduce you with your biblical name or by
Government name.
who people might know you as?
The
former Harvey the Hound.
I can say that now, right?
You can say, is that weird for you?
It is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Okay, so we've got Harvey the Hound here in studio, the former Harvey the Hound, Scott Vickers. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course.
It's crazy to think like he's Harvey the Hound, and I could literally walk right past him, like in the street.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird.
just walk past Harvey the Hound. I would have no idea.
Well,
Like,
it's been kept under wraps for quite a long time, and so you have officially retired this year. So now we are able to take
Yeah.
off the mask and unveil you as the talent of Harvey.
I think it's appropriate now that I'm not anonymous anymore,
Yeah.
and I think it can work to my advantage down the road.
Is this retirement breaking news? Like, is this unheard of? Are we the ones
Well-
announcing this?
Well, I don't know. Was it announced? Like within...
No, it was never announced.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think
I don't think it probably
Flames
would.
are ever going to do that.
Well, because
No.
Harvey's not going away.
Harvey lives forever.
Yeah.
That's what he was designed to do.
Yeah.
So I'm just now the vessel that was moving him, or puppeteer, let's call it.
Yeah.
I can no longer do that because I'm no longer in the suit.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I kind of look at it this way. I can now be the man who was
Yeah.
the guy in the suit.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Totally.
So we could talk about that.
Sure.
And I think it's such a cool thing. I've always been in such like awe and wonder of what you do and the other, we'll call them fill-in Harveys, because you can't just be the only one. You need to have help. Just
Oh, really?
similar to.
I thought he was the Harvey.
No,
for the
no,
last
they're-
25 years.
Well, he was the full-time Harvey. He has to take vacations and stuff too, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Similar to myself and George. Like George can't necessarily like be there every single game, so
Sure.
I was the fill-in. But yeah, it's such a cool thing to experience, like knowing you and then seeing you how you are as an individual, and then when you are Harvey, it's like it's this whole other side of you. But maybe we should just like start at the very, very beginning. So
yeah, absolutely.
the beginning of Harvey being in your bloodline. I
Yeah,
want to
that's
talk
what I
about
wanna
that.
know, yeah.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Yeah.
All right, so that's kind of where things genetically, I would say,
You've genetically been the dog this whole time.
it was in my blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so my uncle, Grant Kilba, who was the original Harvey the Hound, who decided to create Harvey as a mascot when the Flames came from Atlanta. He was currently the Ralph the Dog with Stampeders at the time. And so he thought, okay, this works. How can it work in hockey? Because there was no really entertainment in hockey.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you go there, it's kind of like going to a junior game and
Yeah.
barely
There's
even
nothing
music.
stands
They had
out.
the organ, and that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So Grant decided, okay, I'm going to create a character. I'm going to bring it on to the Flames and see, hey, I got this character. Let's
Yeah.
see if this goes. And, they said no like half a dozen times.
Really?
So he essentially had to pitch it to them.
He pitched
wasn't-
it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they
weren't
were
looking
like,
for it.
a mascot in hockey? Are you kidding me?
That's
Right,
so
because he's the first
wild.
one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
sort of got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I forgot that he's the first. Harvey the Hound is the first NHL mascot.
First NHL mascot.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and so Flames ownership and just nobody liked it.
Yeah.
He
Oh, the Flames
Wait.
owners didn't like something? Oh, okay.
did, yeah.
Easy tiger.
Yeah,
Easy
so
tiger.
Grant had a friend who was a mascot creator. His name's Glenn Street, and he ended up creating street characters. But Grant, he spent hours and hours of finding ways to build a costume. And it became from like sheepskin, bird cages,
Yeah.
like everything you can think of to try to
Sure.
build your own costume. And to
Yeah.
tell you the truth, some of them didn't look very good.
I thought
And
the original Harvey Hound had a red face.
Nope.
A red
No,
face,
I thought it was a red face.
No.
I could be wrong.
So
am
I was
wrong.
actually at work the other day digging through. So I work at Calgary Humane Society, and we've
Right.
done work together
Correct.
with Harvey and them. And we were looking at archives because CHS has been around for 100 years, and there was photos from the 80s of Harvey in with like puppies and stuff. I was like, like
Yeah.
the costume is very much like the same, but just slightly different, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an evolution
Yeah,
of
structurally
the character.
too, right?
Structurally, as you become a better performer, you need to be able to move.
Yeah,
And back then, when Grant was doing it, it was almost 50 pounds,
Oh,
yeah,
and it was wearing like 3 snowsuits,
Yep.
right? So, of course, if you talk to him, he's gonna say, "I lost 15 pounds game."
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I get it.
yeah.
Me, I'm down to 2 to 3 pounds. Like, I can do this in my sleep, but
Right,
my
right.
costume is so worn down that
Yeah,
I can move. It's just like wearing your favorite sweats,
yeah,
right? And so that's the kind of evolution of these costumes being built. And as a performer, you know what works and what works for you, and how, type of feet you wear, running
Yeah.
shoes, do you have a platform, but I would always say the actual design of the character comes first, and then you make your modifications afterwards.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that can change the evolution of the character,
Right,
what
right.
he would look like.
totally.
Like, I remember Ralph the dog used to be a football player, but it was a dog.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
with
yeah.
big flappy ears.
Yeah, yeah.
Then a new company, the Mascot company,
Yeah.
took over. They built a new character.
Okay.
Well, Ralph was designed to be fat,
Really?
big fat suit, big bars around.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I look at it, I'm like,
No.
this isn't happening. So we put it on, we took the hoops out, and now it just like flattened Ralph
yeah,
and basically became this like saggy dog.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
worked because
Yeah,
we
you
would be
did.
running around and we
Yeah.
were doing flips. And
So were you full time Ralph as well?
yeah, so
Oh, you've been Ralph too? Oh,
yeah, so
man.
kind of
The man behind all
Change-
of the masks, like
change the script here.
Yeah.
So if we talk about where I came from,
Mm-hmm.
so Grant started with Harvey and Ralph the dog. In my early high school days, Grant got me involved as a part-time job. He said
Right.
this is cool. He had a connection, a contract with North Hill Shopping Center and the Mascot Company with the stamps. And he brought my cousin Graham Kelba and myself on. We were kind of their little prodigies. We shouted him while he
Yeah.
did his appearances in games. So that was our training. Of course, learn from the best. And it kind of sprouted from there. And then one day he said, "Look, I'm tired.
pass
You
it on
guys
to more.
take over, do what you need to do, make it your own."
Right.
And then my cousin and I ran with it.
Crazy.
So the characters and the costumes, they kind of start to evolutionize
yeah,
with whoever's being in the suit,
Mm-hmm.
and then the character sometimes needs to grow too,
Sure.
right? As you see with the NHL mascots now, they're growing because of social media.
Right. Like Gritty.
Like Gritty,
Yeah.
that's an
We love
anomaly,
Gritty.
right?
Like, dirty bastard.
Harvey
Yeah.
does not have a social media account.
Right.
And
There's
it's
a couple
been
fake accounts out there, but
Right.
it's been a hot topic amongst all of like the production team too, because I'm like, man, like we should have a Harvey account, but I realized that like budgets are a thing. You would need a whole person dedicated to running that account.
oh, trust me,
right?
I tried.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I tried, when the Flames brought me on, like before Twitter, before Instagram was a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I knew YouTube was up,
Yeah,
Sure.
and I wanted to create YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And I used to watch like Benny the Bull.
Yeah.
So he'd always do
Oh,
the
yeah.
stunts and like
Yeah, yeah.
there's a couple of XFL mascots. They were getting on speedboats and just jumping off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool. People would watch that.
Yeah.
And then the more I thought about it, and I really wanted to keep Harvey what he was,
Sure.
yeah,
right? From the original, from performing to the character, the aneurysm or the mannerisms,
Mm-hmm.
and then just the evolution became my character. I kind of
yeah,
brought him back more as a puppy,
yeah.
that kind of
He's pretty scampy,
relatable
Yeah,
personality, which Harvey's always been. But when you have a younger person who hasn't experienced, being a parent
Sure.
and
yeah,
all these other things, that you grow as a person. right? You have to experience things to make connection with people. And that was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
I could tell you I meet 20,000 people 3 times a week,
Yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
change and you see something that would work
Yeah.
Yeah.
with somebody who's connecting with somebody else, but you're not really aware of it. But you could pick up that piece
Yeah.
and put it
Totally.
towards your work. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care. And they're going to forgive you if it doesn't work because you're
You're in
the
a
suit.
dog suit.
So who cares?
Yeah.
Well, I think that there is something to say about keeping Harvey like in that like purest kind of form, because it is no secret that not everybody is a fan of Harvey. And what was it, 2 years in a row that he's been
Ugh.
the least
Yeah.
favorite mascot in the NHL, which breaks my heart because I know you and I have such a soft spot for Harvey.
Yeah.
And like even my best friend, she's like, the Harvey costume is so freaky. But I was like, if you knew the history and the love
Yeah.
behind that character, I feel like people would get it more.
Right. And that's where, social media comes into play.
Yeah.
You can
that's what I
tell
was
the
just gonna say,
story.
that,
Because like Harvey was never made by the Flames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harvey was made by Grant Kelba.
Right.
And Grant Kelba made
Yeah.
Harvey and what Harvey is today.
Right. No one knows that. Right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why Harvey doesn't wear a jersey is because
Ah.
of that. Wasn't made for the
Interesting.
Flames.
Ah, I'm not putting
Now-
all this together.
I'm trying
Now-
to think
Yeah.
of like how many other mascots wear jerseys versus like not.
All of them.
All of them do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louis
Harvey
from
is
St.
just
Louis
like-
doesn't wear pants.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
is it appropriate for mascot to not wear pants
Well, but,
but
like,
not wear a
think-
shirt?
I
Like,
think Donald the Duck, like Donald Duck, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
hasn't worn pants a day in his
like
life.
look at Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
He wears
Yeah.
a small
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Tiny little crop top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've worn a Winnie the Pooh suit before.
Yeah.
Dressed up as Harvey. Yeah, it was a fun little gag.
He's
but
you've never had him like wear a jersey. Like I think I've seen him wear like coats.
I've worn jerseys for like the All-Star games or
Yeah.
we were
Sure,
playing,
yeah.
you wanted to be
Yeah.
recognizable
He would
on
have
the
the
ice.
accessories.
Right.
the-
Yeah.
but
the
It's like
Full costume was always just the pants, the belt,
Yeah.
and then the hat, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, the bucket hat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was the staple. And people talked about that. And you
Mhm.
go anywhere else in the league
Yeah.
or different cities and nobody knows who Harvey is.
Right. And that's probably why you're at the bottom every year of like
Right.
because
Because there's nothing to show that you're affiliated with the Flames.
Yeah.
And well, there's a little patch,
Yeah.
Like,
the
it's like-
logo
yeah.
that looks like it's fallen off, which it is. It's
Yeah.
I've glued it on like 6 times.
Right.
Right. But
Yeah.
for me, I'm thinking, okay, everybody should know Harvey.
Right.
If you do your homework, you should know Harvey.
Yeah.
But social media, that's the only way
Yeah.
that they're ever going to know who this thing is.
So it's just kind of been maybe a lack of presence, right? Like
Correct.
with it, because we all know with Gritty and Benny the Bull, like obviously, like they're great, but they've really just like skyrocketed because of that content.
Right.
And me and you have talked about it too for years. It's like, well, the content is literally like limitless with Harvey
I mean,
or
you can-
any other mascot.
You can do
right?
everything. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody only knows the tongue pull,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
anytime you talk about it, like Wikipedia or
Yeah.
this
That's
day,
YouTube, that's-
marks the anniversary of
Yeah.
the catfish pulling the
Yeah.
tongue, right?
I'm sure
And
we wrote
then
an
some of the
article
other
about it.
mascots, like when Hunter came into play
Yeah.
with the Oilers,
Yeah.
we call him the oily pussy.
I
don't know if I can say
that.
They try to make a jab at us,
Yeah.
where they're like,
Oh.
okay, McTavish is coaching Hunter to pull out Harvey's tongue.
Right.
And I was like, are
Okay.
you kidding me? Like, that's
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Everybody
Get a
over
new
it,
joke, please.
right?
Yeah.
But that's the only thing people can
Yeah.
see because that's all they see.
Right. Do you know the story behind the tongue pull at all? Like why
yeah.
why did the guy do it? Like why did he lean over the glass?
I think he was already in the section,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
became, and the glass was much
Lower at the
those
time.
days,
Yeah.
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 So he was kind of doing his thing, and it must have been, a situational thing during the
Sure.
game. And of course, McTavish is gonna look over and just like, yeah,
Yeah.
there it goes, right? So
Push the wrong
you
button.
can't control the outside world.
Right.
You can control what you're doing, but being Harvey, you actually can control a lot of people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whether it's the chants, the Go Flames goes,
Right.
people watching you, right? I have it harder than they did.
Right.
My uncle or a previous Harvey that I took over. Everybody's got cell phones. I go into a section, I have 50
Yeah.
cameras on me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like
yeah,
I literally can't do anything but be
Yeah.
the social butterfly, the
Yeah.
the high-fiving and pretending, to
Yeah.
really like
You
this
can't-
person, but I'm like, I just want to put a
Yeah.
shoe right through.
Yeah. I was
Totally.
gonna say that.
You
yeah.
you literally like I've heard somebody was like Ellen DeGeneres or something. It's like once you are that kind of recognizable, and especially within the walls of the dome, like Harvey is it, right? But you have to be like the good guy all the time.
Yeah.
And like there's no slipping up, like nothing at all. But like, man, some of those kids, I would want to freaking
Oh, yeah.
lay
I mean,
one because like that's tricky.
I could probably write a book about how to have patience,
Yeah.
how to, encourage kids, who, are scared,
Sure.
Yeah.
to the parents, like that's what the beauty of Harvey is he's a vessel for all these different things and connections and sharing these moments and stuff you would have like with your kids and your family members and your friends and stuff like that, right? Like it's just a thing,
Yeah.
right?
Harvey's
Mhm.
kind of been a part of, I think, every Calgarian's life at some point.
At
right?
some
Sure.
point, right? Like you talk about, like grade 6, you had the
Yeah, I'd
reading,
come
who
to your
gives-
school. and-
reading,
yeah.
give it a
doing-
shot, right?
Yeah.
I've done many school visits,
Yeah.
right? Like to me, I've done too many of them that like
Yeah.
it's one of those appearances I kind of dread at
Really?
the time.
Because they probably just maul you.
They maul you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you walk into that room or the gym,
Yeah.
you run in full speed and you got 4 other players there that the kids
Yeah.
are like, whatever. Harvey runs in and the crowd
Yeah.
goes nuts.
They love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Right. The last school I did this one for, it's kind of like a Middle Eastern
Yeah.
school, private school.
Sure.
Probably barely know hockey.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Care less about the players.
Yeah.
It was all about
It's
Harvey.
all about
Now,
Harvey.
They were
Yeah.
chanting for half an hour, Harvey.
You're just
Yeah.
like,
They-
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that brings
Ego
my
pump.
my pump up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'll just I could just do this and they just giggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I got 2
that's
kids. I
them,
know what you're
right?
talking
They get
about.
the dolls. They see me on camera or YouTube or
Yeah.
at the games. Maybe they don't get to see me one on one, but he's just there,
Well,
and they can
even,
attach
like,
themselves to that.
Yeah, like your last game, there was this like what I believe to be a newborn baby,
Literally, like
like a fresh baby, like
Yeah.
right out of the oven baby.
it's
Was
like they
there.
came from the
The
hospital.
came
Yeah,
just
from-
they were
having
like,
time
"Gotta
for
go to the game."
Yeah.
and
It
they're
was so
front
funny.
row behind the net.
But yeah, but people are just like, here you go, Harvey.
Oh
Just, like,
yeah. Just
take
here's
my
the
child.
baby. Yeah.
The trust,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Because you've done the Lion King thing
many
Yeah.
times. Yes.
yeah.
Do you have to like check with the parents? Or they're just like,
They just
Here
give
you
it to me.
oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
what on
Yeah.
earth are
Yeah.
you thinking?
Yeah.
Given this personality,
Yeah.
Maybe I'm this weak kid, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Or like the gloves could be slippery or
Yeah.
something,
or I
right?
could be
Like,
pissed off,
Yeah.
or I have a bunch of drunk guys in behind me.
Yeah.
So there are things that we think about, where it's location,
Mm-hmm.
who's by us, is the kid actually responding to Harvey?
Right.
Is it a good scenario to actually do it? And
Right.
we have teams in behind the scenes that, Chris, my handler,
yeah,
or stage managers and stuff like that. We
Mhm.
assess it, make sure that it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll just go and do it, and the camera gets on us,
Yeah.
and we might be in a bad spot where it looks like it's really bad.
Yeah.
Like I had one where I was literally front row of the balcony, and it looked like a whole
yeah.
Michael
Yeah,
Jackson.
I was
you
gonna
were.
say,
I was gonna
like,
say you
you're-
were doing the Michael Jackson thing.
Yeah.
Over the balcony. Yeah.
And then after that happened, I'm like, I didn't think anything. I thought it went well.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Are you kidding me? This looked like you're about to drop the baby off the." And then I'm like, "Oh, this would be great. Come back the next game, do the same thing, but have a fake rubber doll and
Oh.
a towel, and then
drop the baby.
drop
Yeah.
the towel." Yeah,
Oh my
See,
god.
that's
People
what I
would
like
lose
about
it.
Harvey.
People would
yeah.
lose it.
Yeah.
but you can't do that,
No.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wave a certain way, and people are going to give you the finger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're 2023 now, right? Everybody's sensitive. Everybody's
Yes.
gotta be careful.
got cameras, right? Like when Grant Kilba was doing this, there was no cameras. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
the entertainment.
Yeah, so you
Right?
could probably get away with murder.
So it was
Yeah.
game on, whistle,
Right.
Harvey.
Right.
Yeah.
right? So then he'd have skits, and they
Yeah.
didn't have the jumbotron, right? Like,
Yeah. 100%.
and so now you see the evolution of how
You evolve with the
entertainment
character.
has involved,
Yep.
how the character can be involved within that entertainment,
Yeah.
and then you start getting more of promotions and getting those guys involved. You get sponsorships. Now we want Harvey, Pete the plumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Pete never wants us in the shots, he just wants it to be him. But whatever.
Yeah.
I've
We'll-
kind of
we'll
heard
let it
that
go.
about Pete the plumber a little bit.
We'll let it go.
Yeah.
We'll give him the spotlight.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it. You can't change what people are gonna and how they're gonna respond.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you kind of just do what you think is right. Sometimes you feel like a walking Santa Claus,
Yeah. That's fair.
but
Yeah.
there's more to it, and people
Right.
don't see what we do on the actual game night
Yeah.
basis or birthday parties and
Mm-hmm.
the lives that we change.
Sure.
You sure do. Like seriously
Yeah.
though, like I'm always just I was in awe of just watching the kids interact with you, and I'm like I'm not a big like kid kind of girl. Like I'm really not. Like I'm like kid, please go away. But like seeing
Dirty and
how
you're stinky.
yeah, I'm like
I know you're trying to be cool, but
yeah,
come
I'll
on.
love you from a distance kind of thing. But kids, young and old, and drunk dudes and hockey moms, they all love Harvey. And Harvey, like, there's a huge part in my heart for Harvey as well, right? But like, tell me about dealing with like the drunk people as Harvey and like how that could be difficult sometimes.
Well, everybody wants to be the cool guy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're ever in a drunk situation or a party,
Yeah.
and then it escalates, right? Somebody's always gonna have the bad end of the stick, right?
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate not to have many run-ins.
Play more run-ins with
Yeah.
kids.
Vancouver fans,
Yeah.
the worst.
Oh yeah.
They're really
Yeah.
fake. Some guys just take it too far.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah. Season ticket holders know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they
Oh,
see it
yeah.
all the time, right? Like they get annoyed by the Canucks fans that are right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they'll cheer if there's a rock thrown on the ice. You know, like
Like, oh, way to
but
go.
the drunk people, you kind of have to let it go
Yeah.
because you know that they're not in full state. And when they start escalating and they start causing risk for everybody else around them,
Yeah.
that's when we need to step in.
Well,
Whether
and
it's just Harvey doing it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whether it's our handlers or stage
Right.
managers or security.
that's what, yeah, the handlers are always
Mm.
there. And
Yeah.
like, I know it's hard sometimes too, because like you probably have to like run to do a promo or run to go to the bathroom. And then there's these kids be like, I want a picture with Harvey. And then Chris would have to be the bad guy to be like, sorry, Harvey's got to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you have to learn to say no, even though you don't want to, because that's
Yeah.
not Harvey's character. And
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
I always thought and imagined that, like, literally, you could see 150 people in about 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, high five,
Yeah.
picture. I gotta go,
Mhm.
and I'll get as many people as I can. At times, depending on what mood you're in and what state of the game is,
Yeah.
just pretend they're zombies
yeah.
and you just,
Just don't
through,
run through them, eh?
run through.
Yeah.
And
Walking
so,
Dead.
Chris McLeod, my handler,
Yeah.
or Steve,
Yeah.
a couple of the other people that have been my handlers,
Yeah.
or characters, they can see something happen before it happens,
Right.
before I get to see
Anticipating.
it.
Well, but also your vision is limited too, right? So
Right,
if
like
they-
I'm looking, in
Are you looking
4
at-
inches
Yeah.
by 6 inches,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a head that weighs 8 pounds,
Yeah.
right?
So it's
And
just a
I'm s-
hockey helmet inside the head.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I figured
and a
that.
chin strap so I can move around.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why Harvey's so animated.
Yeah.
Is because I need to be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I need to memorize where the stairs are, where the kids
Yeah.
are, what the game's doing out there, so I can either get on the drum or maybe it's a penalty kill. It's
Yeah.
not a good time. Maybe the waves
Are you
starting.
motion to do that stuff, or you just pick it up on your own?
Pick it up.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
like
The more
drum.
that you do the games,
Yeah,
the
you-
more you recognize how the crowd's reacting.
you're trying to pick them up.
and-
Yeah.
yeah. So, and that's how mascots are. It's read and react.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's some people would say, the energy is causing the the stimulus.
Yeah.
I say it's the other way.
Okay.
Okay, so stimulus creates energy.
It's this like this give and take thing for me too. Like I find like performing anywhere, like
You feed off
this
the energy of what you're
Yeah.
given.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if you walk into a room and it's a funeral, you're
Yeah.
like,
you're-
"Great, this is gonna be
Yeah.
fun." Oh, hey, Joe. Good to see
Yeah.
you. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, I'd love to talk, but I don't really want to talk about this because
Yeah.
it's kind of negative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants negative when you,
No.
especially when you're paying thousands of dollars and you're at a game,
Yeah,
right? But it's the situation.
totally.
So you kind of have to react to the situation. I get tired based off of the stimulus that I receive.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sexual thing, but
Hey.
yeah. But like if the crowd's going, and you're in playoffs, right?
Yeah.
For example, 04 or
Yeah.
last year, and the crowd's just going nuts.
It's a different feeling.
Sometimes it actually kind of stuns you,
Yeah.
right? And you don't know what to do next. However, the playoff games, it's not fun for me.
Right.
I get to watch hockey because everybody
Yeah.
else wants to watch
Right.
hockey.
Right.
If it's Minnesota on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
that's my busiest game.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
everybody who cares
Because
about
they're
hockey,
there for a good
they're
time,
looking for
right?
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll feed off of that energy.
Right.
I could have a bad day at work, come to the Saddle Dome, and by the second period, I see this 3-year-old who's
Yeah.
just in awe of Harvey.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to just be his best friend, hold his
Yeah.
hand, hug. And, for whatever reason, whatever that moment was, or maybe, my handler would go and grab a Harvey doll because he saw this moment and be like, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
Who cares
yeah.
about hockey? It's this kid who's now meeting his hero,
Yeah.
right? He's meeting his best friend. Kid's gonna have this memory for his life.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what
Yeah.
everybody kind of talks about if you're a Flames fan, right?
Mhm.
You go to the games. I remember getting the dome beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when popcorn was $4 instead of $12.
Now it's 12. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's this giant like sense of community, and we
Yeah.
grow up with this, right?
Yes.
I remember 04. I remember like all of this stuff, and it is beyond what goes on the ice. And our last game, we had those conversations with Steve, and it was like, despite the craziness and all the politics and all the bullshit,
Yep.
I think we had a great season as a team to create an experience for upwards of 20,000 people. Like it's so special, and I'm just really proud of everybody. Like,
Well, when you do this for a long time, you have to find ways to make an impact.
yeah,
You have to find ways to change the narrative from it being the same thing every year, right? Whether it's maybe you have a new stage manager that's just kicking around and he has a different opinion on how things should be done,
yeah,
right? So guys like myself, where every game almost feels the same because it's the same job, it's the routine, but the scenarios change.
Yeah.
Steve Edgar, who's the director of entertainment. Yeah, it might be the same thing, but
Sure.
he's handcuffed because he got sponsorships into play,
yeah,
right? Who wants to pay the bills,
Yeah.
to get a
We
certain
know.
promotion out there, right?
Yeah.
Even dealing with you guys, right? Like,
Mhm.
there's only so much you can do. So if the same thing always occurs, the show doesn't grow.
Sure.
So you have to be willing to adapt with what you have
Mm-hmm.
and make it even better.
Yeah.
And maybe it is just trying one thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you push the narrative a little bit and somebody saw, oh, well, that worked. Okay, let's do
Yeah.
it again and do
Yeah.
it again and again. And now that's the evolution, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Where I feel like you're right. We are like kind of kept within these parameters and in this box, but like even when I sing, like it can be the most subtle little nuanced thing, and everybody will talk about it. And they'll be like, "Oh my god, that was amazing! Like you did something different, and like it was great." And I was like, "It's about the little things,
Yeah.
And it's so fun. I want to talk to you a bit about those handsy moms at the Saddle Dome with
I
Harvey.
wouldn't say it's just moms.
No,
No, I would say it's,
Girls going to
all
Cowboys?
genders.
Yeah. Everyone.
yeah.
They love Harv. Hey,
I don't know what it is. And maybe it's just the personality and how I move. And
you're scampy. Like you're
I
like
guess.
a troublemaker.
You know what? That's the how do I say it? The chameleon of Harvey
Yeah.
is being able to adapt to the person.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether it's the 2-year-old, the baby, the
12-year-old.
90-year-old, or the 110-year-old, we had a 110-year-old at the game.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was dealing with her, or you
Yeah.
have that, you know, the high schoolers or the yummy
Yeah.
mummies.
We love
Right?
yummy mummies. We do.
And again, it's the situation, but if they get handsy,
Yeah.
play it off.
Just play it off.
Play it off. You don't want to go to the point where, like, okay,
Yeah.
there's 60, cameras on you. Maybe that mom knows your wife,
Yeah.
or your buddy's it's your buddy's mom, or whatever, right? Like,
You're like, hey, chill out for a second, please.
Yeah.
but that's the right. Like, you can't get mad at Harvey
Right.
because he's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Right? People don't know who's inside the suit either. Some
Fair
people
enough.
think, there was this whole chatter about a woman wearing the suit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I
That
would
went
have
on
no
for
idea.
years. Right? What about the could have been an old guy, right?
Fair.
Like, this guy could be a creeper. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But whatever it is, whatever that energy is, it brings those people out and
Yeah.
brings their naughty side.
Frisky. They're a little frisky.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't necessarily see you as a human being. Like you're a character.
No, exactly. Like, I would just go and walk by this 70-year-old who's waiting for popcorn, and I just go
Yeah.
and tickle his butt. And he's just giggling because that's something that he would have done to his wife.
Yeah.
He can relate to that.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it's those little things that people will pick up on
Yeah.
that they can relate to in their own lives.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right?
Well, it's generational too, right? I do have a funny story. So Stina, Stina, she told me she was out at a bar one night and some guy tried to hit on her and he was like, yeah, I'm Harvey.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, really? So Stina, she's one of the handlers.
Okay.
So she's like, I know all of these people. But she played it off and she was like, she's like, you're Harvey, hey? And he's like, yeah, it's a really great job. Like, so it's like Harvey's being used as like a pickup line, which is so wild.
We've caught it a
That's
few times, and like
wild.
even Chris would say, like,
Yeah.
Is that Jason? And she goes, well, he goes, no, I'm sorry, honey, but like,
Yeah.
somebody just lied to you. It's okay,
Yeah.
but somebody lied to you. It's like,
Yeah.
why would she be right and Chris be wrong?
Yeah,
Even
you're
though
like, I
Chris is
literally
with me.
see headless Harvey all the time.
Yeah. And like even Steve Scott would be like, oh yeah, I see this guy naked running around all the time in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know what he looks like. Like here's a picture of him. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
I literally come into the dressing room one day
Yeah.
and he's having a full-on conversation with some dude just standing there in his underwear. And I was like, what if I did that?
Yeah.
What if I just came out of my underwear? But it's so different because like you're wearing a big old sweaty suit all the time, right? So you need to air it out.
I could care less if the ice crew there or
We're super comfy, right? Like it's totally fine.
But like for me, I'm not thinking about that.
Sure.
I'm thinking about like, okay, I gotta get dressed in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
12 minutes left in the period. Like
Okay.
That part doesn't bother me.
Sure.
I've been doing this stuff for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, you have a model, right?
Yeah.
And she gets nude and naked in front of everybody. That's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then you've got like, I love the suit because there's like, you got to kind of bulk out Harvey just a little bit. Like
Some
he's
love
not
handles.
Yeah, a little bit of like
Mhm.
muffin
He's definitely
top
not
there.
the fattest mascot.
No, he's not. But there's the way that they bulk him out. It's like this little like thong situation.
Kind of looks like a
with the
diaper.
belt.
Really?
A diaper that sits up high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
And
you.
so I'd be like Scott, give me a turnaround in the thong. It was always so funny. Have you fallen a bunch in the suit? Because I can imagine with like the
Yeah, what's your
shoes and the
injury?
Yeah.
stairs.
So like, as people know, Harvey used to walk on the glass.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like
Right?
Undertaker style.
So we used to do that, and then they changed the glass.
Yeah.
Came the
it's too high,
plexi. Now it's only 2 inches into the boards.
Yeah.
So we could pop out any second. Right?
Yeah.
And then the NHL started cracking on
Sure.
us, right? Like
Mhm.
I remember one of my last games, penalty box side, the glass is kind of like a T, right?
Yeah.
So I'm standing on that doing the YMCA, playing Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get the
Buffalo on
YMCA
a
going,
Tuesday. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and the crowd's going, the camera deck is right there. So I'm literally right in their face, basically saying F you to the league.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
here, watch me instead of hockey.
Yeah,
Of course, it was Buffalo at the time.
Yeah.
It was great hockey. And then, the glass wobbles, and of course you fall and slip and
Yeah.
land on your crotch.
Yeah.
You don't really land on your crotch.
People
but,
think
But
it's
the
a
thong gets like
yeah. People
right
like,
up
oh, do
in
you
there.
have padding down there? I'm like, not really.
not a lot of padding.
I used to be a gymnast, so I kind of knew how to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then of course you wear the suit,
Mhm.
which you don't feel any pain.
Right.
I'd come home from games and wake up the next day and have bruises all over my
But
thighs.
you didn't feel it at the time, yeah.
When you lean in for a high five and you
Yeah.
get an armrest right in the middle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't
Right,
know.
like,
yeah.
you would never even know that even
Yeah.
happened, but
Totally.
it does.
Right.
Like
Well, it's also like the adrenaline, maybe
Oh,
a
of
bit of the
course.
serotonin, and you're just like you're in the zone.
exactly.
I get like that too. It's like nothing can hurt me right now. I'll feel it later, but right now, like
That's the best way I can describe it is,
Yeah.
when you've been kind of wasted
Mhm.
and you don't
Oh, I
feel the
know.
pain, you don't feel the cold.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
that. Or you walk into a, house party and everybody and you
Sure.
just
Yeah. High fiving everybody.
high five
yeah.
in everything.
yeah.
It's good times.
Yeah.
That's the same feeling.
Yeah.
But then do that for 3 hours.
Right.
That becomes the exhausting part.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your body takes the toll afterwards.
Sure.
So there's been many times this season where I wake up and I feel like I got hit by a train.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But you do it for the
Yeah.
character, you do it for the games, and for the people. And, I do it for myself.
Mhm.
I've always
Yeah.
been an athlete, but as you age, like I'm 36 now.
Sure.
No, it looks 36, but
No, you don't.
You look 22.
I know,
Yeah.
I
You're
know.
doing great.
I know.
It's like, what the?
But like I said, I could do this stuff in my sleep. So
Yeah.
the performing part's the easy part.
Yeah.
It's dealing with the other stuff afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could talk to my uncle. He's separated his shoulders, broken legs, stuff like that.
Jesus.
I've been very fortunate not to have many injuries.
Right.
I've performed on no ACL for 2.5 years.
What the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I jumped down from one of the boxes onto the stairs.
Yeah.
And my knee buckled, blew out my
Oh.
meniscus.
What the?
I've torn my quad muscles. Still work the games.
Yeah. You're
Right,
a hockey
like-
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
So
crazy.
you have to get the job done.
Yeah.
Well, Harvey can't just like dip out for the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes that's the motivation for the
And-
crowd, right?
And I think me being an athlete all these years
Yeah.
has helped me perform for some of
Sure.
You talked about, we have our backups.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I miss maybe 3 games a year.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And I choose to take those games off.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do all of them. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's those 3 games in a week that start to crush me.
Right. Yeah.
Especially when I have a family,
Mhm.
you got a second job. That adds up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hear you.
Right? Like even
Yeah.
being a parent,
Yeah.
like dealing with your kids all day after or
And then dealing with everybody else's
when you're-
kids.
Yeah.
or when bedtime takes 3 hours,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you got to be up at 5:30 in the morning just
Yeah.
to have you time
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then do it all over again for another 18 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that catches up real quick.
Right.
That's so crazy. Good for you though.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, what about you told me once about this alleged Mascot group chat. I want to know is there any beef between mascots in the league? Like, somebody in particular who's an asshole? Is it Gritty?
No,
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I've heard.
the guy who plays Gritty is a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I won't tell you his name,
Well, we can't unveil.
No.
I'm not gonna.
but there's been a few guys in the league that kind of overstep their boundaries.
That asshole Hunter.
Some
Yeah.
no, some of these guys think that they should be given everything in the world,
Right.
and they expect so much from, when you go to a charity event that you need your own dressing room and food and hotel
A
room,
rider.
and then you charge a
Yeah.
ridiculous amount
Yeah.
of, performance fees.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Yeah. Like
you've been in the league what 2-3 years?
Yeah.
and
we're
you're-
mascots here. Like
Yeah.
we love the
Yeah,
job,
but
but
then you go to like All-Star,
Yeah.
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 and these guys create chaos in front of everybody, and they
Sure.
don't even care.
Right.
They just want to
Yeah.
be the drama queen.
Right.
well, and I feel like in an environment like that too, everybody's fighting for attention because in their own barns, we'll say, they're the attention's on them the whole time, right? So then you get all of these personalities in one space, and
Yeah.
it's like this big friggin' dick measuring contest
between
between mascots.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that.
I mean, when we go out to the bars and stuff at All Star, it's
Yeah.
we're all best buddies.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then you go and we're at the events, and there's always that one guy that wants to take it too far, just to like put me on the map.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
me,
Competition. Yeah.
and then we'll be in the group chats, and people are asking questions like, "Oh,
Yeah.
what do you charge for this? What do you do for
Yeah.
this?" And then you
Yeah.
get the guys who are jealous because their character isn't doing well, or they're capped with their entertainment crew, or they don't have the budget, or maybe they're just a part-time guy. Like the few of us that have been around the league, like I would say there's a good 10 of us that were really close.
Yeah.
And we bonded because we came in at the same time.
Okay.
And we knew what we had to do. We knew to push boundaries within the league. But we never overstepped each other,
Sure.
right? It's when you start becoming this, the college mascot rivalry
Yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, and people want that at All Star.
Yeah.
They want you to hate the other guy,
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
right? Like, go play the game and score as many goals as you want, so everybody can say, "Oh, this guy's a
Right.
good hockey player,"
Right.
or "This mascot's awesome." 3/4 of the guys can't skate.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you. So you go to these All-Star games, right? They usually make you play in a game.
Yeah,
Right?
and I'll tell you, they are rigged
Yeah.
because the host needs to win or score a goal. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of us that have played hockey.
Right.
Me, I have played hockey. I played up to junior,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't do it for the glory.
Right.
I do something that somebody can remember
Sure.
during
Yeah.
that game, whether it was a hit. Like this year, I went and hit on Gritty,
Yeah.
hip check,
Because
in the
he's
box.
got a target on his back, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna
he's-
get some
He's
exposure.
one of my best friends,
Right. But it. It's part of the game.
but I did it, and he had a
Yeah.
GoPro on. I'm like, "This is gonna be great.
Yeah.
Let's get this
Yeah.
footage."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he had no idea,
Right.
right? I couldn't score goals, so I'd make
Yeah.
Carlton look good.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bear. Yeah.
And I love that guy.
Yeah. Carlton.
So you
Yeah.
always want to help the other guys succeed too, because sometimes maybe their character's not there.
Yeah, I like that though.
Mhm.
Like there's
And
like
that's the
hockey
thing with
families,
Harvey,
right?
is he's always been the good guy.
Yeah.
Right. He's not
Right,
a heel.
he's-
Yeah.
He's the neutral
Yeah.
personality.
Where you get like the
Right, like-
Kings guy's a heel.
Yeah, you don't have like an Oilers fan come over and
Yeah.
look at Harvey and say, "Yeah, here," or he's a
Yeah.
5-year-old and he's
Yeah.
got the jersey on, hat. But he's there because it's his team and he likes McJesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
dad paid $700 for the ticket.
Yeah.
Right? Like I see it from that point of view.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go and like flip him the bird 'cause he's wearing the jersey.
Yeah.
Some of these guys would do that, but like,
Right.
Well, you're creating an experience, and part of I feel the Flames experience is this like family community aspect, right? So it's like, yeah, friendly rivalries. It's it's
Yeah,
just
it's
a
all-
game.
Yeah.
it's all
It's
fun and
just a
games
game.
until it
Game.
becomes too chaotic.
Yeah.
That's so
And
crazy.
so think of it, your dog is a man's best friend. Regardless, like he doesn't know that you could be a bad person. He'll come and see you, sniff you, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same concept. That's why
Yeah.
Harvey was designed to be a dog,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
I love that. So do you find that like parts of your personality shine through when you were playing
100%.
Harvey?
Yeah.
However, some people would know me and watch me be Harvey and say,
Yeah. Who is that?
"Who is this?"
You're s-
Yeah.
you're so animated. Well, obviously you have to be, but compared to like you sitting
It's a
across from us on
switch.
the couch right now, nobody would ever know. Like
No.
you would think that like somebody who's a mascot would just be like zany all the
Yeah.
time.
So there are those guys.
Yeah.
You're like, oh
Clown.
boy.
There are
Sounds like a
those guys.
clown. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they
No disrespect.
I actually-
Calling him a clown.
made myself be this way. That I
Yeah.
never wanted to be Harvey the Hound as Scott Vickers.
Yeah,
I wanted them to be totally separate, so that Harvey stays Harvey,
Yeah.
and then Scott can shine elsewhere.
Right.
To a point where I'm like, okay, I wish Scott Vickers was known as Harvey
Yeah.
the Hound, which
Yeah.
now I can have that light.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm happy to
before
provide
not
that
wearing
for
the
you.
suit anymore,
Yeah.
that's going to be the hard part.
Yeah.
But, and you're anonymous, right?
Yeah.
So all you can do is keep giving Harvey the credibility,
Mm-hmm.
credit for what he's done, whether it's for the community, the games, or
Yeah.
the moments, and then you create your own as a Scott. Like I'm known
Yeah.
now as a dad and a husband,
Yeah.
and I sell appliances right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm kind of nobody, and it's the Bruce Wayne Batman concept, but I can't be rich.
Yeah.
And you can't talk.
Yeah, that
Right?
must
Like,
be tricky.
I mean, I do talk anyway, but
Mhm.
the more that you do it, it's part of the persona now.
so
Right.
you're
But-
officially retired
yeah.
now.
So last Wednesday, was it last Wednesday?
The 12th.
The
I
12th.
think.
Last Flames game?
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
was
it was the
2
12th.
Wednesdays ago. I
2
think.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Was my last game.
Yeah.
It was kind of bittersweet. Still doesn't feel real,
Sure.
but I've been kind of preparing this for the last 4 years, 5 years.
4 years.
Well, we
Yes.
would always joke. We'd be like, Scott says it's his last year.
Yeah,
What are the
yeah.
odds he comes back?
Exactly.
Like
next year?
Timu Solani, he keeps coming
And
back.
for me, it was like easy money. We were
Yeah.
going through COVID.
You obviously
Yeah.
like
Still being
doing
paid.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can do it in my sleep.
Yeah.
Extra hours, fine.
Mhm.
But now that my kids are older,
Yeah.
working these 2 jobs, life gets in the way, and you're like,
Yeah.
the last thing I want to do is put the suit on,
Yeah.
and I need to change the narrative in my life.
Yeah.
I want to be Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Harvey can live on. I've done what I needed to do for him, and let that legacy be there
Yeah.
and create, Scott character.
Yeah.
I can utilize Harvey the Hound
Yeah.
and have that confidence that the things that I have done
Mm-hmm.
and those skills that I've learned has helped me towards being a better salesperson, being a
Sure.
better dad, being
Yeah.
a better husband, have those, empathy moments and, more connection with people.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to miss saying, yes, I'm
Oh,
Harvey the
yeah.
Hound? Yes, because that was my superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to look at it.
But the guys who have done this before know exactly where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And they find it a blessing that they had that experience.
Yeah.
And now they can live their lives.
Yeah.
They can live lives in their own lives instead of somebody else's.
Through a suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did it feel like kind of in that last game? Because I know we were all super emotional. Like even Chris was big dude starts crying and we're like, oh man. And then even like walking off of the ice, like for the last time after the game, we all took photos and I was like, I had my eyes on you the whole time because there were like little moments where I was like, oh, I think like Scott's feeling it too, right?
Yeah. So I met with my bosses and I said, look, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I want my last game to be. Because my experience with the last Harvey, I watched his experience.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I want to run through the sunset.
Yeah.
I want to go on my turns, not my uncle's turns.
Yeah.
I wanted to do what I needed to do for the last time.
Yeah.
Whether it was seeing my buddies up in the catwalk, the off-ice officials, which are always in my dressing room post-game. And we talk about the game, we talk about golf, all these things, right?
Yeah.
Guys I've known for 20 years. So I went and saw them. I had season ticket holders, who've seen me for the last 10 years. The kids come to every game, take their photos with Harvey. I've gone to their birthday parties. They showed up. I've had my best friend and his brother, son, who's a huge Harvey fan. He's 3, the same age as my kid.
Yeah.
So I have that connection there. They showed up at the last game.
Yeah.
Near the end of the third period. They're like, man, we had to be here for your last game. And I was like, come on. Like,
yeah.
That meant more to me having those people there and that support.
Yeah.
And then I had out my family.
Yeah.
They're always there at the games. My dad has season tickets.
Yeah.
Like, made sure we got like 16 people out there. Even had the former Harvey the Hound and my uncle there because they were my influencers.
Yeah.
Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So, and then, remember doing the wave the last
Yeah.
3 minutes. I was like, okay, I gotta do
Gotta
this.
get a wave in there.
I gotta get on the ice. And we had this little Harvey the Hound, we call him
Yeah.
Little Harv.
Yeah.
All made a Harvey the Hound costume.
Right. Yeah.
So we had an afternoon game, and he hung out with Harvey the whole game.
Yeah.
Come to bang the drum and do
Yeah.
visits, and that was the coolest moment.
Yeah.
Was influencing another kid who was 6 years old,
Yeah.
wearing a costume, hanging out with his hero.
Yeah.
Right, doing the same thing that he's dreamt about. What I was doing when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
And living that moment, and then having him around the last game too, that meant something.
Yeah.
My handler, Chris, this was his light every game. He kept me when I was in my down moments, kept me going, and I kept him going. We were the best team that anybody could have. Synchronization, when you can read somebody else's mind, it was like that.
Yeah.
And it just flowed. We never had any hiccups during games, made our lives so easy and painless. And we've never had issues with stage managers or directors, nothing. Like, there was a problem. Nobody even actually noticed. Right? He made my life better. And having my family there, on the ice and stuff for pictures afterwards, like I was lost for words. I was overwhelmed. I was tired. I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I was sweaty. Like you could feel the heat off my costume.
Yeah.
But it was a surreal experience, and I'm glad it happened that way.
I feel like you did go out in glory. I really do, because the game wasn't like, we weren't making playoffs. It wasn't about necessarily the hockey. It was about those AHL guys who came up, and it was about you. At least from like our perspective, it was. And like for the people who knew that was your last game, like we could just kind of breathe and celebrate with you about your legacy and Harvey's legacy, and like the AHL guys too. Like it was such a good feeling to the end of the season for us.
Yes. And yes, there's a lot of bitterness within the team, but honestly, in our job, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The game's the game. People are there to see the game. But you do your job, and it makes everybody else's experiences better.
Right.
But for us, it's the family. It's our little community, and nobody else understands what we go through on a nightly basis. And so we have that connection. We'll have that connection for life. And, every game is just a tad a little bit different. Right? Whether it's Michela, showing up with somebody new at a game.
But
hey, I don't bring too many people.
No, but that was your thing, right? Like everybody needs to go and experience a Flames game. You're 10 rows up or 7 rows up, right in the corner there, and you're having a good time. You sang the anthem.
It's about the experience.
Yeah, and who couldn't love that? You're part of something.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a part of something.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could go on and on and tell you so many people that I've worked with.
Right.
Everybody has their own thing that's unique to them. They bring it to the table. We've lost a lot of good people. Within the organization, just due to financial things or job postings or deaths. We lost Willie. That was pretty sad.
It was hard.
And that guy was a fighter.
Yeah.
Like he fought for a long time.
Right.
Some guys like Steve Edgar gets pretty emotional talking about it.
Yeah.
So we always try to recognize his death and his birthdays and.
Well, and now like that corner is now named after him. And I remember we went to, as Willie was kind of making his exit, we all went to go see his last open mic performance, and he performed an anthem, and everybody stood up and they're like, Michela, go sing. I was like, it is not about me right now.
Right.
I'm like, it's so special to be a part of something so much bigger than ourselves, and it's bigger than hockey, and it's like
for sure
it's a huge family. And you're so right. Like we make an impact on other people's lives, and boy, does like being a part of this like have an impact on us, right?
Mhm.
So it's
And one of the things that I really wish Harvey could have grown to was Scott being the performer, and then Harvey's the vessel to move it forward.
Right.
yeah,
I wanted to create like YouTube channels, for kids, do
Right.
like kind of like a Blippy style,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kind of goofy, but then you're always learning.
Yeah.
Like kids would follow that.
like ABCs with Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I know
then
what
you would
mean.
have another channel where it was like Harvey's doing crazy stunts,
Yeah.
which some people would find that awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, Harvey just did a BMX,
Yeah.
backflip into a foam pit or something.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I went to that indoor bike park,
Yeah.
rode a bike around.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Pretty scary when you have
Yeah. When you're
3-year-olds trying to ride and then
Jeez.
a 40-year-old
Yeah.
on a mountain bike over here,
Yeah.
crisscrossing from
funny.
each other. And then you have, the team side or the foundation side. Like, there's so many things you can do, whether it's within the organization. Yeah, we have to pick our moments.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously money is a big thing.
Yeah.
And budget and sponsorships. And so you get kind of handcuffed there, but I just totally wish that it could have grown.
Right. Yeah. I get that from you.
If my uncle didn't pass the reins off to the Flames,
Mm-hmm.
we could have grown this to be that.
Right.
But
Well,
it doesn't work like that.
and it's easy to get, I mean, I get caught up in it too, and I get jaded sometimes
Mhm.
about all the politics and all the red tape and all this stuff, but man, like, I want you to know that you have made such a huge difference on so many people's lives, not only in the building, in our entire city, and probably around the world. And I know that Harvey has taken you around the world too.
Yeah.
Like you've been to China, you've been like
Yeah.
all over. So like you got to like
Absolutely.
share that love with everybody, and what you do and what you have done with Harvey has been so important. Like
Yeah.
even if it's just like for me, dude, like it's very important. So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that symbol, that character can do that for so many people. Even just the organization does so much. Like, look at what our foundation's done, right? For the Children's Hospital, raising millions and millions of dollars, giving away millions of dollars.
Yeah.
yeah.
From the alumni group, from ownership and spending money on, schools and other sponsorships. You got the players taking involvement, right? Like, you don't have that community if you don't do that stuff.
Right.
Yep.
You can't have your fan base if you're not doing those things.
Yep.
And it's not like the organization is just choosing to do this because of it. It's the connection, right?
Yeah.
And Calgary is a big town. And everybody knows somebody that knows somebody.
Yep.
And there's so many people that are rotating in and out of the city. But how do you make a connection with one thing? And that's hockey.
Yeah.
Right? Hockey is the big thing in Canada.
Yeah.
It's coming around in the States, but we're nowhere near.
Oh,
their
we
level.
can't even touch football.
Yeah.
No. NBA is still
Yeah.
higher
Even
than
baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think it needs to be as big as it needs to be.
Yeah.
People who are in it for the right reasons and let it grow that way.
Well, and as Canadians, we can keep hockey.
Yeah.
Like we can keep that,
Yeah.
right?
Hockey is the hardest sport to play. It's the fastest sport, in my opinion, to play.
Yep.
So many talented players. Like, how many people try to make it to the NHL?
Yeah.
How many 3-year-olds or even 80-year-olds still playing. And they do it because that makes them feel good. It's their sense of community. They get their teammates, and you can go for beers, and you have friends, like something to go to.
Yeah.
Right? That's the power of sport. With the Flames and with myself and being involved, like, I have no idea where I would have been outside of being Harvey.
Right.
And all I've ever known was being a mascot. Like, from early high school, 16 years old. Like, it kept me, not doing drugs.
Yeah.
Not going to house parties.
Yeah.
Like,
Because you're like, I have a team that's relying on me right now.
I got to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We got a 7:00 appearance that I have to be at. And of course, I've missed my share
Yeah.
and let some kids down and stuff like that. But nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
But we can make up for it. Yeah, it's rewarding and it's a lot of work. Everything is a lot of work, but it's the effort that you put into things that will progress it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And you can see the satisfaction and gratitude. That's the biggest thing. If you can find gratitude in anything, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I think that's where I came to realize my last game that I am grateful for being Harvey. Because now I have a whole nother chapter I can look forward to.
Yep.
And let the next guy
Yeah.
do that, and participate and let him try to grow the
Yeah.
character. And he may not ever be what it was, but like, I'm never going to be what Grant Kilba was.
Yeah.
Right. You guys need to grow your show.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How do you grow the show? Well, you get more interesting people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping I'm an interesting person.
I think you're very
Yeah.
interesting. I really do.
Because without the character,
Yeah.
you'll never know that
Yeah.
I could be
I
that
could have
person.
walked right past you and I would have never known
Well,
that you're
I love it because I'm a 5'9",
Yeah.
and I put the suit on and I'm 6'2", and 225 pounds.
Yeah.
It's great.
So for all of the short kings out there, the
Yeah.
key to success is be a mascot.
Yeah.
And I could say I've been in professional sports.
Yeah.
For this long, like
Mhm.
I've been in the league longer than most of these players.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
I've been longer in the league than Backlund.
Yeah.
So some of those things, those are the cool stories that I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my family can tell. Those are our memories,
Right.
right? That's our legacy. I talk to my uncle all the time. We just bounce stories back and forth. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love
But-
that.
That's our moment.
Yeah.
That's our time to talk about it.
Well, and you're gonna have that forever.
Exactly.
I think. How are we looking on time here, Princey? Are we?
I was just gonna ask you one last
Yeah.
question, then we'll wrap
Absolutely.
it up here. Have you had any interactions with players, whether that's I can't say on the ice, been passing in the hallways? Like, have you had any
Always.
interactions with players?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Like Jerome McGinley.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite moments. There's when Iggy had his last game as a Bruin.
Yeah.
And he
Mhm.
was the first star. He came out on the ice.
Yeah.
Lights were down,
Yeah.
and I'm there. I'm like, because I used to high five him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even Chris Dingle, the former Harvey before me,
Yeah.
he would do the same thing. Like it was just what Harvey did.
Yeah.
And of course, it's Jerome McGinley. Right?
Sure.
Who wouldn't want that? There's this photo.
Yeah.
It's on the web. Me and him high five, and there's a big shadow of him.
Yeah.
His jersey on the back. Right. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
But I used to do like his birthday parties for his daughter.
Yeah, I figured. That's what I was gonna say.
Right.
Like, do players ask you to do their birthday parties and
All the
stuff? Like,
time.
yeah.
Glenn Cross.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dealt with him a bunch.
Yeah.
I remember going to China and I would have beers with Lionel McDonald
Awesome. Yeah.
and we would talk stories and like I used to play hockey against his son.
Really?
I fought his son and yeah, it
He
was
beat you up.
crazy. Same with Darren Fleury's son.
Right.
I played against them.
Right.
And I still have run-ins all the time, like whether it's
yeah.
at the aid channel at the time or
Yeah. Sure.
foundation events or
Yeah.
league things, like it's
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
But would I ever be friends with them outside of
Yeah.
hockey? If they call me and say, hey, let's
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
for beer and
You
golf.
would.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But they don't have time for me.
Yeah.
They
Well,
have their
the-
own lives, but
Talking about a Ginla, this made me think of it, and I'm hoping it is you. Otherwise, I'm gonna look like an idiot. There's a photo of I think it's Kiprusoff's last game. Was that you doing that?
No.
No, damn.
Yeah.
This
I
is
wish it was.
awesome photo. Whoever's doing the Harvey is like doing the like Wayne's
Yes.
World thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, I was hoping that was you.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was the handler at the time.
Oh, you're doing the handling. Okay.
And that was a cool moment. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just did the last salute, and then there's a photo, and I guarantee I'll be able to find it. Is he's just
Yeah.
going
yeah, and
that
like
together.
I've seen him in suites and stuff
Yeah.
all the time. We
Yeah.
would talk
Yeah.
post game, and
Yeah.
guy could care less about hockey.
Right.
He just wants to fish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah.
Like he had his place down south.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you find him in Sweden somewhere.
Yeah. Finland. Yeah.
But like the stories we would hear from him.
Yeah.
About him playing games with a big dip in,
Yeah.
you
He'd
know,
smash like 10 cigarettes before the game or something.
or in
Yes.
between periods.
Yeah, in
and
between
timeouts and
periods.
stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
I have heard that too.
so
Yeah.
depending on the time
Mm-hmm.
or the team,
Yeah.
there's always those little stories that people don't get to hear about.
Yeah.
And like there's times about Goudreau, and
Yeah.
I've had many conversations with the Kachuk brothers and the
Yeah.
dad. Like
Yeah.
they came into my dressing room all the time, and we were
Yeah.
like Brady's a huge gamer,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And pretty much gets a sponsorship for beer.
Yeah. Budweiser. Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
all great guys.
Yeah.
They have their own lives. They have their own
Yeah.
personalities. Some don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're hockey players.
Yeah.
Like I can't say I'm a hockey player like them. I'm a different animal.
Yeah.
Literally.
Pun
They've got
intended.
their job.
Yeah.
You've
Right.
got your job, right?
Like
Yeah.
you go and put a whole hockey team in a room, and you put the mascots in a room.
Yeah.
Who do you want to have beers with?
Yeah.
Harvey.
Yeah.
Like Harvey and the mascots, because
Yeah.
we do crazier things,
Yeah.
and there's more stories and more
Yeah.
interaction, right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories actually was in where was it? It was Columbus at the All-Star.
Yeah.
And I remember doing shots with Patrick Kane and Carey Price.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they didn't really know us,
No.
but because we were a group and some
Mhm.
guys know some of the guys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we were all just there, and now they're buying shots for everybody.
Yeah.
and, like I remember I had a one-on-one conversation with who was it? It was right here.
If you give me a team, I can.
Yeah, you probably know better than me.
Some trivia over here.
Yeah.
Was
it
this
was-
in Columbus too? Or was
No,
this a different
this
one?
is a different All-Star.
Yeah.
But like I would just sit there and we'd
Yeah.
talk over a couple beers and
Yeah.
Yeah.
just get to know the guy.
Sure.
I could care less about your stats and
Mhm.
how your team's doing. Like, be real with me. Be a person.
Sure.
Let's talk one-on-one. Be a human. And that conversation, like I said, lasted probably a good 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that, but he did because he was like, I want to meet a mascot.
Yeah.
Like, tell me your stories,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And some of these alumni guys, we would talk about that, and they want to know you're real too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the joy of what we do. And even with this show, I hope that we can humanize hockey and humanize sports and entertainment and, shed a light on the human experience, being able to be a part of these really huge things, right? And dude, seriously, thank you for
Yeah.
coming on the show today. This has been so
Yeah.
nice.
it's definitely a first for me, and
Yeah,
hopefully it's
man.
You
not
were
the
great.
last.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know
that's
what you
awesome.
were worried
If
about.
if you guys ever needs more,
Yeah, man. We
more
will.
dirt.
We
and,
will, man.
Yeah. Even if it's just talking about the Flames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know,
That's
as
one thing we
You
haven't.
should
another-
have him on
another
Barn
voice.
Burner. Hey?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. You should come and talk to Boomer and Pin.
But
I
yeah,
think
like
that'd
I
be
said,
fun.
like I got many years under my belt and
Sure.
doing
yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
I did Ralph the Dog for 14 years.
I
was
did not know
Farley.
that you were Ralph the dog too.
Yeah, that's where I
Like,
started,
that's-
and then
yeah.
Came to a point where we had nobody else, so I ended
There's a
up
hierarchy.
Yeah.
took over, and then I was doing
Yeah.
the Hitman, Roughnecks,
Yeah.
Stamps,
Farther
Flames all at the
Fox,
same
yeah.
time
Yeah.
through university, like making good gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
part-time work,
Yeah.
and then I made it full-time as
Sure.
a contract.
Yeah.
Work out 2 hours a day,
Yeah.
go and have a 2-hour nap, and then go work a Flames game.
Yeah. That's
you
it.
know, and then
Yeah.
go for beers afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Sleep in till 10. Or I'd go
Miss those days,
golfing
yeah.
and fishing one day, and then
Yeah.
come work a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
I'm
ha-
sure it was a hit with the ladies too. Hey.
some people like
Some
it.
people like it. Yeah.
Some loved it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you that I had a fair share or anything like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't about that.
Yeah.
That's very personal.
Yeah.
Had some
Yeah.
stories, post games.
Yeah.
But those are, off the record.
Yeah.
Chapters,
Those
yeah.
are stories for another time.
Exactly.
Another place. Maybe
Yeah.
without microphones and a
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, this has been so great, dude.
So yeah, I mean, again, like I said, we can talk about this for hours.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's so
let me ask you
interesting.
guys a
Yeah,
question.
sure.
Oh.
How would having a guy like me on this show help grow your show?
Well, I think the number one thing is guys like me, no one knows who Harvey the Hound is. There's probably guys like I got a stupid friend Brody who probably thinks that Harvey the Hound has been the same hound for the last however long, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like people are gonna see this and be like, okay, cool. Like I need to know who this human being is. I need to know his storyline, that kind of stuff. And maybe he's got some cool stories. I mean, I don't think people are expecting to hear stories about you walking into suites and seeing
And
that
seeing
kind
what
of,
you got to see
that
in
kind
there.
of stuff.
But
Yeah.
But that's it. Just kind of opens up a different side of things that you might not see. Then I can guarantee you've never been on a podcast before and revealed that you're Harvey the Hound, right? That's the cool thing about our show.
well, and there's such a mystery behind mascots
Yes.
and all this stuff, and I think that with the publicity, sometimes the controversy, the being the worst in the league, which I do not think is true. But
Any
it's like
publicity is
Yeah.
good publicity.
exactly, and it's like
Good talking point.
I find this
Yeah.
stuff wildly interesting. I truly do. So
Yeah.
I think that our listeners and viewers will also find it really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if you get a lot of likes, and have me on the show
Yeah.
again,
Of course.
there's
man, yeah.
there's more to come.
Of course, man.
I'm,
Hell yeah.
I'm happy to
Figure it
do
out,
this with you guys.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We're in the Oodle Noodle Studios. Oodle Noodle is our sponsor. We've got one in Airdrie. We've got one 17th Ave. There's another one coming in the north. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Love to have you in here, Scott. It was awesome to have you. Love the stories. Appreciate it. Best of luck to you if we don't see you again, but I hope we do. Best of luck to you in your
Yep.
future, whatever you end
Amazing.
up doing.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. You got anything else to add?
I just gotta say, I love Harvey. I'll always love
Yeah.
Harvey, and I loved Scott's Harvey
There you
for
go.
forever. So love you, man. This
Love
has been
you.
so great.
Thanks, guys.